Tiruvananthapuram, Kerala, is famously branded as God's own country, a landscape defined by serene backwaters and peaceful communities. Yet, behind these quiet walls, extreme violence can hide in plain sight. A year-and-a-half-old boy named Arshid arrived at a local hospital already beyond saving. While his caregivers claimed he was simply choking on a meal, the medical examination that followed revealed a different story. Medical examiners uncovered 51 separate external injuries across Arshid's body, from cigarette burns to deep lacerations concentrated on his tiny limbs and torso. These external marks were only the surface. An autopsy identified 40 additional internal trauma zones, including brain hemorrhaging, bringing the total to 91 distinct injuries. His body was so severely damaged that his internal organs were failing. When he tried to swallow his food that day, his throat and chest were too battered to function, causing him to suffocate. Forensic analysis confirmed these wounds were not the result of a single incident. The mix of fresh cuts and old healing scars indicated a pattern of systematic torture that had been ongoing for months. Arshid's body became a physical record of failure. Every injury was a silent signal for help that the world around him failed to register. 24 hours before Arshid's death, a nearly identical incident occurred in Firozabad, Uttar Pradesh. The repetition of these crimes across different states highlights a specific, systemic vulnerability in how we protect children. In Arshid's case, his biological father had died before he was born. Concerned for the child's safety, his grandparents took him in, providing a stable home. However, the biological mother sought to regain custody by appealing to the police and the National Child Helpline, asserting her legal right as the parent. The state authorities facilitated the transfer. Current protocol often prioritizes biological connection over a thorough, independent assessment of the home's safety, returning children to the very environments that endanger them. This pattern of missed intervention appeared again in Ramanagara, Karnataka, where a mother was investigated for the deaths of 2 infants within a single week. She was only caught after cemetery staff questioned why the same individual was seeking burial for a second child so soon after the first. In Firozabad, Ramanagara, in Kerala, the perpetrator was the exact caregiver the legal system had mandated the child to stay with. When the law treats a child as a parent's property rather than an individual with an independent right to safety, the outcome is often fatal. During the final 15 days of Arshid's life, his mother traveled to Tamil Nadu for work, leaving M in the sole care of her partner, Oscar. During this period, Oscar broke both of the child's arms. Neighbors reported hearing constant crying and seeing the baby with heavy bandages, yet they accepted the explanation that the toddler had simply fallen. When several people witness an escalating emergency, the presence of others can create a paralyzing hesitation. Each witness assumes a neighbor will act, and in that collective silence, the violence continues unchecked. This is reinforced by a cultural tendency to view domestic violence as a private matter. We are conditioned to look away from another person's home, prioritizing politeness over a child's survival. After the arrest, local residents formed a mob to attack Asghar. This explosion of community anger happened only after the child was dead, far too late to change the outcome. A community that values non-interference over child safety provides an environment where abuse can thrive behind closed doors. To prevent another tragedy, we must change how we respond to the signs of abuse in our own neighborhoods. While abusers face legal consequences, the focus must shift to proactive detection. Arrests happen after the damage is done. Intervention must happen before. Every resident should monitor for 3 specific red flags: frequent or inconsistent physical injuries, a child showing extreme fear of their caregivers, and persistent, abnormal crying. If these signs are present, do not confront the abuser. Instead, document your observations safely and contact the authorities immediately. Dial 1098. This is the National Child Helpline, a dedicated tool for triggering welfare checks and state intervention. True protection of our children requires constant societal vigilance. This includes educating children to recognize the signs of crime and encouraging them to report when they see their peers in danger. Protecting a child's life is a fundamental human obligation. It is a duty that must always override social niceties and the fear of getting involved.